And now I will come to Wagner Bureau Bridge Systems, and I would like to ask Carlos Arraiz to have his presentation. Carlos Arraiz is working for 3 years in Wagner Bureau, but he has almost 20 years of experiences with the bridge systems and temporary bridges all over the world with various types of clients. So please, you can start with your presentation.
All right, I'll start. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. I think it's a very important session in order to share experience from different point of view on this important matter of climate change, the impact it has on infrastructure, and what solutions, what options are available in the market to prevent it, to solve, to provide immediate response. So I'm going to try to present a little bit about the modular bridge case, why modular bridges are an important tool within the toolbox of how to combat the effects of climate change on our road infrastructure. So first of all, a little bit of history about Wagner Bureau. We are a company with over 170 years history, founded in 1854. Since the very early 20th century, we started developing infrastructure, steel infrastructure, not only in Austria, but all over Central Europe. And then in the 60s, we started expanding our operation to the Middle East, to Australasia. And since the 1970s, we've been focused in modular bridges, and since the year 2000 in panel bridges, the Bailey type bridges. We've been developing our operations all over the world, and as of 2022, we even opened a factory, a production facility in the Ukraine to support the local market and also take opportunities for production for the different products that we have. As I mentioned, we have the latest operation facilities we have is in the Ukraine, but we also have operations and manufacturing in Austria, and we have our own production facilities in Jakarta, in Indonesia, where we provide any kind of steel bridge that you can imagine. If it's require any sort of steel work, we can produce it at any of our facilities. As a bit of an overlook of the company, as I mentioned, we have a 170-year history where we have supplied over 5,000 bridges worldwide, and out of those, about 25 kilometers of modular bridges. We are established name, a brand. Our brand is recognized all over the world as a market leader in the steel bridge industry. We have extensive knowledge, not only on technical knowledge of bridge fabrication and design, but also on logistics, project management, and anything related to the design, production, and delivery and installation of steel bridges. We can also offer all over Central Europe, not only our steel products, but we can also do engineering, inspections, maintenance, rental, anything related to steel bridges, we can supply in Central Europe. We'll be happy to support any client in the region. We also have our manufacturing in Southeast Asia, which turns that into a regional market leader in that area. We supply not only in Indonesia, but across the region, different type of steel projects. We have an experienced team of engineers that, because of our global reach, we have a very good understanding, a very good grasp of standards and specifications to design and produce bridges that could be suitable to any standard code all over the world. And obviously, we look at an increased positive market where we see that infrastructure spending and government initiatives in the area of contingency and emergency solutions, it's been looked more favorable because of the current global situation on climate change. So we think this is a good opportunity to present our products, to present our services to the different potential users of the equipment. As I mentioned, we can develop any kind of steel bridge. Our main focus, obviously, for this presentation is the standardized modular type bridges, either as trusses or as panel bridges. But as you can see, our experience goes beyond to movable plate girders, suspension bridges, any kind of bridges that would be required in steel. Wagner Bureau takes full control of the process from material procurement all the way up to delivery and installation. We take control and full project management of the whole process. So it's all in our control fully. And now, after this small introduction, I wanted to, well, first of all, let's talk about climate change. What is the challenge? Obviously, I'm going to be very brief, but humanity is currently in a balanced process between mitigating the effects that our activities in the personal life, but also in the commercial and industrial life has, with adapting to the changes that these activities are creating. We are generating greenhouse gases that concentrate in the atmosphere, creating high levels of energy that by natural means cannot be mitigated. So creating this terminology of the radiative forcing, which what happens elevates temperatures in the atmosphere and generate a worsening of the conditions on the atmosphere and that impact on the ecosystems, that negative impact on the ecosystems. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we are at that process that we need to mitigate, but at the same time adapt to the ever-changing climate effects that our activities are producing. So what happens? Because there are these increases in the atmosphere temperature, we see cases that there is more heat trapped in the atmosphere, causing warmer atmosphere, holding additional water than it used to historically. So we have an effect basically divided into two areas. In the dry areas, these increasing temperatures in the atmosphere are intensifying the effects of lack of rain, requirements for more usage of water by the local inhabitants. We're seeing that areas where we used to see a lot of snow, the snow is not increasing in size as much as it used to. But then in areas where we had a lot of rain, we're seeing that the distribution of rain is not happening on a regular basis, or there's little rain, but we're seeing now that there is more and more rain, heavy rains that are causing issues with landslides um, and and sediment being washed away. So the situation we're seeing we're seeing a condition that it's affecting either if it's very dry area, but if as well as if there is uh, very wet areas in the world, and the impact it's affecting us in big matter. So what happened? These changes in temperatures are creating floods, landslides, and an impact that is affecting our own infrastructure, our way of communicating. We're seeing the substructures being eroded and washed away. We're seeing piers and abutments being destroyed, like we can see in these photos. And this is an issue that we can see all over the world. I'm going to show you some photos. The impact, as you can see on this bridge on the left, the 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 abutment has been fully exposed. So if there is another flood, there is a risk that the bridge is going to collapse. We can see the abutment being washed away and being exposed nowadays, being very difficult to access the bridge. in the current condition. We're seeing also situations where floods are bringing debris and bringing trees, rocks that not also affect the substructure but also are impacting on the main structure, sometimes destroying it, sometimes debilitating the infrastructure and causing problems to the local community to get access. And equally, because of lack of maintenance in some areas, then you see that the floods are impacting the bridges, are creating corrosion, rotting of some elements on the bridge, and eventual collapses of the infrastructure. So these are situations that need to be addressed very quickly in order to continue and keep that operation of the infrastructure, trying not to close the road, affecting the local community. So this is where the modular bridge case comes in. Uh, Modular bridges are a versatile product that have multiple applications. Um, they can be used for provisional. If you have the stock, it could be used for disaster relief, for emergency response, for military applications. Nowadays, a lot of armies are being used as a way of supporting the disaster relief efforts by the governments. So militaries having stock, they can deploy it very easily and use it as a training exercise for their own forces. The bridges, the temporary bridges, the panel bridges can also be used as temporary solutions for railway and road bridges, and even as floating bridges as and when required. For our product, the Barnaby panel bridge system, it's been developed from the original Bailey Bridge, a bridge that was developed by the Allied forces back in World War II. It's, as I mentioned, a versatile solution because it offers short assembly times, very simple to install, and very flexible to adapt to any requirements in an emergency situation. These bridges are composed of pre-designed elements, prefabricated that are modular and standardized and can be can be deployed very quickly and assembled in no time. Uh, as I mentioned, they can be adaptable to any span, any road width requirement, or any load capacity determined by the user. And as such, it's a great product to be used as an emergency and disaster relief operation. I like this image because it shows the simplicity. It's only a small number of components, but with that small number of components, theoretically, you could build any span, any capacity. It's just a matter of adding as much components as required for the bridge needs. But additionally, you can have another usages. You can adapt the product to adapt to, let's say, multiple spans, no problems. The panels could be turned into towers. And if you need to have multi-spans, you can have different combinations, either as a span junction, in case that you have the freedom of locating those piers as and where required, or where you want to locate them. Or let's say if you have a structure that is going to be used as a pier, and it doesn't match with the spans of the panels, you can use a distribution beam and use a continuous structure and then locate a distribution beam on the pier, and being able to deploy your bridge without any issue. So depending on the condition, you can apply a solution. Equally, if there are issues that you need a rapid deployment, you don't have time to build a back wall and abutment itself, you can install a ramp. No problems. You can deploy a ramp and use it, no problem, for immediate solution. Why Bagnebiro panel bridges are advantageous? Obviously, they combine the benefits of the prefabricated panel bridges, the things that I already discussed: buildability, handling, and interchangeability of components, with with modern technology, modern material, improved connections, better welding details. We try to minimize the number of components. Basically, what you can see there, it's the components you will need to install any bridge. We try to use identical components using high load capacity and elements that are durable. They can adapt easily to any site conditions. They are lightweight and small enough so that you can put them in a container and virtually deliver them anywhere in the world. So logistically, it's the best solution. We have a stock that it's available for immediate delivery in an emergency response. We have a stock in our warehouses in Austria, and assembly and erection by non-trained staff, it's very easy. It's very quick. It can be done in a matter of days. You can have a bridge ready for usage and in operation. Unique benefits, as I mentioned, we try to keep components to the minimum, so we only have one type of panel, the one type of panel, so you don't have to worry having a different type of elements that you need to pick up and select. You just go in and take whatever number of panels you need. You can put them on the back of a truck and deliver, no problem. There's not going to be any mix and match of panels, and they are high load bearing capacity, high steel strength steel elements. We also have transoms that are located at the end of the panel. You don't need to have any complex handling maneuver operations in order to accommodate the transom in the right position on the panel. You just put your panel and land your transom at the end, and job is done. We also have developed some elements to improve the distribution of loads, to improve the fatigue life of the transoms and the bridge in general terms. And the welding, we have close weld solutions. So a fully welded joint offers an improved fatigue strength and also protection against corrosion, because water will not go into any of those open joints. And now some examples of different projects that we have developed all over the world. First one, Colombia. The Colombian Army has two 61-meter bridges that they use all over the country to respond to any emergency or any disaster operations. They can deploy the bridges in no time. We also have to the South Korean Army. They have 70 meters of our bridge, and they are constantly doing training exercises on it. And for example, on one of the recent trainings, they managed to build a 70-meter bridge in 69 hours, as you can see there on the photos. In Chile, we have supplied kilometers of our bridges for the Ministry of Transport and for the military, so that they can have it as stock equipment to deploy all over the country as and when required for any operation, any requirement they need on site. They have the equipment there available. So some examples of projects where we have where the ministry has used our equipment. The Chilean Army deploying equipment for different operations in different environments. It's not a problem. Or even for temporary access in construction sites, it's been used equipment. In Thailand, the Ministry of Transport in Thailand also have stock available for emergency response. You see that orange because the colors of the ministry is orange. So once the equipment arrive, the equipment is galvanized, but they paint it on top of this orange color to have it identify as their own equipment. We're also supply equipment in Africa, in Burkina Faso, but you can see the equipment is lightweight enough that it can be assembled by hand if required. Obviously, it's not the ideal scenario. It's better to have some small equipment, a small machinery to install it. But if push come to shove, you can use it. Again, Costa Rica, the Ministry of Transport in Costa Rica had some stock for emergency response. They deployed our equipment all over the country for different operations, and even for marine environments. With the El Nino phenomenon going on in Central and South America, some of the marine infrastructure is badly affected after an event. And in the last few years, we have supplied four of our bridges to be used as ferry bridges, ferry access bridges in different ports throughout Costa Rica. Obviously, we're also supplied equipment for access in rural Congo. And this is not climate related, but as you can see there, we supplied 172 meters of bridges, of two-lane bridges, for emergency response after the bomb, after a collapse of the bridge. You can see on the left the collapsed bridge. So this was supplied as part of an Austrian package, finance package, for the quick opening of the road. It was a vital road for access in Mosul, so it needed quick response. So one of these panel bridges was used during the reconstruction of the permanent structure. As I mentioned, ramps, we've supplied three 36-meter bridges recently to the Greek army to use in emergency operations. They had the equipment delivered last year just before the floods in northern Greece, so that they could use it immediately to deploy it and support the regional governments in any emergency situation they had. So these photos are from the training that we did to them. We've also supplied bridges for temporary bridges in the Czech Republic. And this one, it's not emergency again, but this shows the versatility and the capacity of a panel bridge. This was a bridge, a part of a program, of a plan that we delivered about 12 years ago for the development of energy project in rural Algeria. The local infrastructure was not sufficient or not strong enough to carry the loadings that the project required. In this case, we're looking at the transportation of a transformer 512 tons in weight. There was this 67-meter gap, and if you can see behind it, you can see the piers of the existing bridge. But that bridge was not strong enough, so we came up with a solution. A lot of bespoke elements were required, but that shows the capacity and the versatility of a panel bridge in any operation. You can throw anything to it and it will respond with the correct engineering and development. Now, we've looked at temporary solution. The panel bridge is a very good, versatile, quick solution, immediate deployment, rapid solution. Now, we can also offer, and the modular bridges can also offer, a permanent solution to any issue. Let's say a bridge has been destroyed, or a road is being caught by a flood, a landslide, call it what you will. You deploy your panel bridge, it does the job, but eventually you're going to have to remove it and replace it for permanent infrastructure. Again, the modular bridges can come to the rescue, and we have a product that can span up to 140 meters, single span in two lanes of traffic. And this bridge can be manufactured and deployed within 5 months. It can be ready for installation. Let's say you have a bridge that you need replacing, you get the order going, and within a year, you'll have your bridge open for service. And then again, this uses the similar concepts of a versatile, pre-designed, pre-manufactured bridge that you just assemble on site and have it ready for service. It's the advantages: cost-effective, permanent solution. This, within a very short period of time, you can have the bridge ready as a permanent application. It's, as I mentioned, availability very quick. You can have a bridge ready on site for installation in 5 months, let's say, suitable for all kind of traffics and even for railway applications. It's been used. Easy to transport. Again, the same principle. You can put the components in a container and deliver them anywhere in the world. Steel construction, lightweight, very short construction time. You can use local labor to install it. There is no welding required on site. Long-term durability, very little maintenance required once installed. So a perfect solution, not only for the short-term emergency response, you have the panel bridges, but for permanent applications, you'll have the modular bridges. And then you can see some examples of projects that we have developed all over the world. And with that, thank you very much for your time. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation. I can see that you deliver to all of the world, to so many countries.